the Island Falls subdivision, waiting for Ontario's last regularly scheduled mixed train to go by with engines 1801 and 1520 as they make their way north to Moosonee, Ontario. Moosonee is on the tip of James Bay. You'll notice that between the last boxcar and the first baggage car, a steam generator car. This car supplies steam which is used to heat the passenger cars. Subdivision at Monteith, Ontario, as southbound train number 308 goes by with engines 1800 and 1801. With a light snowfall coming down, we watch as southbound train number 308 goes by with engines 1800 and 1801. It's a blowing winter day on the Island Falls subdivision as mixed train number 421 passes by with engines 1803 and 1509 on their way to Moosonee, Ontario. You notice that snowplow 560 is on the head end of this train. The Island Falls subdivision is the only subdivision on the Ontario Northland Railway where snowplow is allowed on regularly scheduled trains. We're on the Iroquois Falls subdivision at mileage 1.5 as the next to south passes by with engines 1808 and 1807. We're on the Raymore subdivision just south of Monteith, Ontario, as train number 308 passes by with engines 1808 and 1807 on their way back to Englehart, Ontario. subdivision at mileage 87.5 as northbound train number 207 goes by with engines 1737 and 1802 on their way north to Timmins, Ontario. Subdivision at Dane as northbound train number 209 goes by with engines 1603 and 1805 with a trainload of empty barrel-type ore cars destined for the Adams mine. We're still on the Adams subdivision, this time just south of the Adams mine, as train number 210 with engines 1805 and 1603 passes by, with a train load of loaded iron ore cars with iron ore pellets. You notice the train slowing down. This is to allow the tail end brakeman to put the derail back on before they continue their trip south to Englehart. Subdivision, just north of the Englehart yard, as train number 210 passes by with engines 1805 and 1603, with a trainload of iron ore cars destined for the steel mills of southern Ontario. We're on the Devonshire subdivision at Mammoth as northbound passenger train 287 passes by with engines 1502 and 1520. Station in Cochrane, Ontario, as once again we see engines 1502 and 1520 as they continue their journey on to Kapuskasing, Ontario. We're at the road crossing at mileage 5 on the Island Falls subdivision as mixed train 421 with engines 1803 and 1509 pass by. A note of interest is that on this particular trip, 3 extra passenger cars were added to accommodate a group of curlers going to a curling bronze field in Moosonee, Ontario. We're on the Raymore subdivision once again. This time we're just north of Valgagny, Ontario, as northbound train number 213 with engine 1734 passes by us. After picking up their train orders from the operator, we once again see northbound train number 213 with engine 1734, this time at Porquis, Ontario. The crew will pull further down into the yard, where they will cut their van off and make up a smaller train with cars destined for Iroquois Falls, Ontario. They will then proceed to Iroquois Falls via the Iroquois Falls subdivision. Iroquois Falls is the home of one of Abitibi Price's paper mills. Just south of Monteith, Ontario, on the Raymore subdivision, a southbound train number 308 passes by with engine 1806 and sister engine 1807 on their way home to Englehart, Ontario. On the Iroquois subdivision at Welch, as we watch Extra South 1734 pass us by on its way back to Porquis with southbound tonnage. Notice as the train stops the three different types of boxcars from three different railways: Central Vermont, Quebec Central, which is CP Rail, and an Ontario Northland boxcar. After dropping off their southbound tonnage, we once again see northbound train number 213 with engine 1734, this time at mileage 5.2 on the Devonshire subdivision. .213 is on its way to Cochrane, Ontario, where the cars will be transferred to the Canadian National Railway. You can hear the chains on the rack flats rattling as they go by. Mileage 4.5 on the Island Falls subdivision, as northbound mixed train 421 passes by with engines 1803 and 1520 on their way to Moosonee, Ontario. Notice the mixture of freight and passenger cars. It's sunrise in Englehart, Ontario, as northbound passenger train 287 with engines 1517 and 1521 pass by us. You'll notice the ex-Canadian Pacific stainless steel sleeper on the tail end of the train. a cold, sunny winter day as northbound freight number 213 with engine 1730 passes in front of the Matheson, Ontario station. Did you notice at the beginning the operator coming out to inspect the train as it goes by? Also, in the lower left-hand corner of your picture, is a motor car used by one of Ontario Northland's track patrols. We're at Iroquois Falls, Ontario, as northbound Extra 1730 passes by. Snow flies as mixed train 421 goes by with engines 1801 and 1521 on their way north to Moosonee, Ontario. Notice the tank cars and box cars mixed along with the passenger equipment at the tail end of the train. We're on the Iroquois Falls subdivision at mileage 1.3 as Extra North 1731 passes by with cars bound for Iroquois Falls, Ontario. Subdivision at Connaught, Ontario. A southbound train 308 with engines 1802 and 1809 pass over the Frederick House River Bridge. Once again, we see southbound train number 308 with engines 1802 and 1809. This time they're at mileage 87.5 on the Raymore subdivision. on the Devonshire subdivision at Nellie Lake as northbound train number 213 with engine 1731 passes us by on its way to Cochrane, Ontario. After picking some more tonnage up at Porquis, we watched southbound train number 308 with engines 1802 and 1809 pass us by on the Raymore subdivision just south of Monteith, Ontario. We're on the Raymore subdivision at Connaught, Ontario. The southbound freight number 308 with engine 1805 and sister engine 1804 pass over the Frederick House River Bridge on their way back to Englehart, Ontario. Once again, we see train number 308 with engines 1805 and 1804, this time just south of Matheson, Ontario. The building in the background is the Hudson Mine milling plant. Falls subdivision as southbound mixed train number 622 passes by with engines 1801 and 1520. There's the rack flats loaded with pulpwood. These cars are destined for a paper mill at Thorold, Ontario. Thorold is near Welland, Ontario. It's an early March morning as northbound passenger train number 287 pulls into Swastika Station with engines 1502 and 1509. Notice the steam rising off the water. Raymore subdivision as southbound passenger train number 322, the Northlander, with engine 1984, pulls into Swastika Station. Number 322 departs Swastika on its way south to Toronto, Ontario. Subdivision at Boston Creek as train number 211 with engine 1808 passes by on its way to Noranda, Quebec. We're on the Kirkland Lake subdivision at Northland Park as we wait for train number 211 with engine 1808 to go by us. Northbound Extra with engine 1731 and 1733 go by Swastika. Just as with the northbound Extra, southbound freight number 308 goes by with engines 1806 and 1803. Kirkland Lake subdivision at Kirkland Lake, Ontario, as we watch train number 211 with engine 1808 go by. We're at mileage 11 on the Kirkland Lake sub as train number 211 goes by us. We're just south of the Liver Lake station as number 211 with engine 1808 goes by us. We're still on the Kirkland Lake subdivision, this time at the Ontario-Quebec border as number 211 goes by with engine 1808. We're now at mileage 40 as once again number 211 goes by on its way to Noranda, Quebec. We're now at the CNR-ONR Diamond at Noranda, Quebec as we watch southbound train number 512 with engine 1808 pass by. You'll notice in the background the twin smokestacks of the Noranda Mine smelter. Kirkland Lake subdivision at mileage 52. A southbound train 512 passes by on its way back to Englehart, Ontario. Once again, 1808 passes us by, this time at mileage 40 on the Kirkland Lake subdivision. Still on the Kirkland Lake subdivision. This time we're at the Quebec-Ontario border as once again train number 512 passes us by as it makes its way back to Englehart, Ontario. Kirkland Lake subdivision at Swastika Junction as we watch train number 512 as it makes its way back towards the Raymore subdivision and the Ontario Northland Railway main line. We're on the Raymore subdivision overlooking Lake Sesaginiga as northbound freight number 207 goes by with engines 1808 and 1806 on their way north to Timmins, Ontario. We're still on the Raymore subdivision. This time we're overlooking Swastika Station as southbound passenger train number 322, the Northlander, with engine 1984, goes by on its way south to North Bay and Toronto. On the Kirkland Lake subdivision at Swastika Junction as train number 211 pulls by with engine 1805 on its way to Miranda, Quebec. Subdivision at Englehart, Ontario. A southbound freight 512 with engine 1805 pulls into the north end of Englehart Yard. subdivision at mileage 87 as southbound freight 308 goes by with engines 1807 and 1803 on their way south to Porquis. The gondolas are loaded with copper concentrate. Mileage 1 on the Iroquois Falls subdivision as the extra south goes by with engines 1803 and 1807. We're in the Iroquois Falls, Ontario yard as the extra pulls in. Mileage 3 on the Iroquois Falls sub as engines 1807 and 1803 go by us on their way back to Porquis Junction, the southbound plant. After picking up the rest of the southbound tonnage at Porquis Junction, we watched southbound freight number 308 with engines 1807 and 1803 go by us at mileage 83.8 on the Raymore subdivision on their way south to Englehart, Ontario. Subdivision just south of Adams Junction. A southbound freight 308 comes out of the rock cut with engines 1808 and 1806 on their way south to Englehart, Ontario.